Sunday, September 1st, 2019. We're going to take a quick look at Hurricane Dorian. Right now it's bearing down on the Bahamas. And here's a live stream. Now they are claiming that this is currently a Category 5 hurricane, 180 mile. I even seen reports of 200 miles per hour. Now that's just taking their word for it, with a pressure of 913 millibars. Now, using all my maps and data, I can only find wind speeds just over 100 miles per hour and millibars around 1,000. But so we're just going to have to take their word for it that it is Category 5. And it would take a current look. Here it is, right? Most current images as of about 2:15 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll notice here in the center that these clouds here are just twirling around. Remember, like I said in the last video back in the day, like the eye of the storm used to be calm. Now this is a pretty compact storm. We'll take another look at it out front. I mean, you can tell it's cooking. I mean, yeah, we'll take a look at the geocolor imagery. This is of the tropical Atlantic. This is Dorian. Here is I don't even know what this is called, but there's another disturbance, we'll call it, behind it. We'll take a quick look at the model, the GFS, and most models have it riding right up the coast now perfectly until it hits about South Carolina. So between the Bahamas and the Carolinas might be taking the brunt of this storm till precip accumulation. Most of this, we'll let that load. We'll take another look here. We'll take a look at most current radar imagery. Now this is from First Alert Doppler 6000. Now this is I guess you would call it privately owned Doppler radar, and by NBC. I shared that on, we'll go to my Facebook page. I shared this quite a few days ago. If I can find it or get down far enough. Well, oh, here it is. S-band, high frequency. Now this one you're getting live, or check back at that. We're getting most current images. This is before we get these images supplied by, I guess this is NOAA. But yeah, it is starting to show up on Doppler, so there is storm there, obviously. Now the wind speed, like I said, you just have to take their word for it, because every instrument, no school was the highest wind speed I got of, I think it was 107 miles per hour. Now we'll take a look. Here's lower level water vapor imagery. Now up here, the Northeast, we have been completely smothered with aviation pollution. See them darting over Montana, getting sucked down, and they're all out in front of this storm too, especially over Georgia, South Carolina. There is the cirrus band, and you can really see the trails good on this. All right, here we'll take a look at, this is from last evening. Just look at that, like a perfect yin yang. Earlier this morning, you can see the frequencies rolling out of that. Sorry I had to use a You might not be able to see it as well, a different screen recorder. Go back to my page. I was talking about a quote from LBJ on the last video. And he says it lies the predicant and foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather. And he who controls the weather will control the world. 1962. I'll put down here because, you know, when they, with weather prediction and all that, and weather modification and geoengineering, they go hand in hand. That was from, well, he was vice president then, but soon to be president. Then Harold captured this from earlier. He puts chemtrails in the eye of Dorian. Well, it's quite possible. If you ask me and my post, you can definitely tell it's being targeted. What I shared. Yeah, in this one picture right here, you can see it's a hexagon, like the storm on the North Pole of Saturn. Traced it out there, and a hexagon makes a cube. But to me, when I see angles in a storm, that's like indication where the power from a laser or microwave is being focused, or where they step off power and then step back up on power. Closest buoy only said 27 knots. But, you know, is that 170 miles per hour? This is live. Or it's a few minutes behind, but what else do we want to look at? Oh, I want to show my sky from yesterday. And today, it doesn't even look like the sun fully raised. Just completely smothered. This is all pollution, we'll call it. Nobody can argue that. That was left by a plane. All these cirrus clouds left by planes. Look, here's the cirrus band, and you can just see it crisscross, crisscross, crisscross. That's yesterday. And then you can see all the nice little patterns. It's likely from a microwave. And this was all left by planes. It just fills out. Quite disgusting. There's a more visible feed, and you can, this is all aviation pollution right here. Cancel that out. It was from earlier. Look, you can see running West Virginia completely covered, Kentucky, Northern Virginia, and to Maryland, over us, up into PA, off the coast. Boy. So like I said before, like, our weather isn't natural at all anymore, because you got to think about it. There's 43,000 flights over the continental United States every single day. So there is always a persistent haze of pollution, aviation pollution. This is not including whether they're actually spraying other stuff. If you ask me, yes, they do spray. They seed with silver iodide in the open. You can find all the companies that do that, and more than likely there's probably private jets that do this as well. But anyways, I just wanted to make a quick update on Dorian. Get some good captures here. The storm is, I mean, crazy looking. So if you're on the Florida coast, I think you guys will probably at least get some wind. If there's wind, if the wind is like they're claiming. Here's the total precip. As you can see, most of that's going to be off the coast until we get up into South Carolina. So, this storm may be impacting you guys the hardest. I'm sure there'll be storm surge up and down the coast, but we'll see when it gets there. That is how many days out? Yeah, we still potentially up to a week left of this storm. Engineered monster, if you ask me. So other than that, just a quick update. We will check back in at a later date.